Welcome back, everyone, to the Xfinity desk here at the Halo World Championships 2017. My name's Gaskin, and I'm joined on the desk by Big Man Towie and Little Man Ghost. Oh, I can't really call anyone Little Man. I guess I'm the littlest man of all.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say.
Good to have you here. I hear you were over here yesterday as well, just getting involved in a little bit of casting rather than the coaching.
A little bit. It's more fun to be up here than just kind of watching on the side, so figured why not.
Well, the game that we've got next up for you guys is Splyce versus SOAR. I mean, any initial thoughts from you guys between these two squads? Splyce, of course, looked really hot yesterday, but then they did fall to that losers bracket eventually to Luminosity.
Yep, this is going to be a big match for Splyce to rebound after that Game 7 that they had yesterday. You know, obviously they're going to be favored in this match. Excellent team, but you can't really come out cold. You know, you want to be able to set a pace for the rest of the day, and that's what they're going to try to do here.
And do you think that Splyce Ghost have a chance to really go on, break that kind of top 6, top 4, or do we think that maybe after this kind of SOAR Gaming game, they might struggle against other teams?
I feel like they are one of the most inconsistent teams we've seen, and I don't mean it in the fact that like they play good or bad, or you know, sometimes they have hot streaks or cold streaks. I just think that their play style is so unique and it's so varied that it's not just one size fits all like we have for Optic Gaming, right, where they know how to get it done every time. I think Splyce kind of just throws spitballs anywhere and sees what sticks, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but their individual skill kind of overcomes a lot of these deficits that they have in terms of teamwork. And yeah, just that unique play style really catches a lot of other teams just by surprise.
And their opposition today, well, is going to be SOAR Gaming. And what a story it's been for these guys. They didn't actually even enter the online qualifiers. They just rocked up on the day for the LATAM region, and they blew all of the top seeds out of the water and qualified for the Halo World Championships 2017. But they have struggled a little bit. Currently, they just got destroyed in their group, but now they will play their first loser bracket game against Splyce. Do you think there is any hope for these guys? Maybe the surprise factor against Splyce?
I think there is definitely hope. You know, Munoz has been around for a long time as well, and they obviously performed extremely well on LAN at their qualifier. Yep. You got to give a lot of credit. I believe they played with a different player at that qualifier. They had Tapping Buttons, who a lot of people are familiar with, but man, they're up against a really tough challenge right now.
I think Muniz was actually at that tournament. I know he wasn't in the finals, but I'm pretty sure he did compete at that tournament.
That sounds right. I believe so as well, yeah.
So he ended up, you know, making the swap somehow, some way, and getting onto the team. Obviously, Tapping Buttons couldn't attend, so now he's over here. So he is competing here in the North American, well, not North, I guess in North America, but at the World Finals.
Pretty impressive. We just had a little glimpse of the series layout, but game number 1 is going to be Capture the Flag on Fathom. I mean, is this, do you think, going to be a bit of a blowout? Do we think that Splyce should be able to comfortably take this one, Ghost?
I think that they should. I mean, only just because over on the mainstream yesterday, we saw SOAR go up against, I think it was Fabi, right? And Fabi looked like they kind of handled SOAR, so I got to think that Splyce is a little bit better than Fab. So, yeah, I think that this is just going to be a little bit rough for SOAR Gaming. Unless, hey, maybe we're talking about that inconsistent Splyce. We don't know if they're just not playing their A game today. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, SOAR did start off well. They were keeping the camouflage out of Splyce's hands, but now they're having to back off because of a couple of kills coming through Splyce, and it will be Shotzi in the end picking up that camouflage with Railgun as well. Just laying down some bullets on Munoz, taking him down, and now here comes the Splyce train. They've got 2 down. They're going to push in, and will they go for a pull here?
Smart play coming out of Shotzi as he looks for that spawner, but unfortunately misses a teammate that, or excuse me, some help that he needed on that team over there in the flag.
Really strange here as Splyce is trying to push in. You see Shotzi paying attention to Garage, knowing spawners are coming up there, but then also getting shot in the back by spawners coming up Silo. Very split on Splyce pushing into the base there. That's probably caused by positions, or his teammates being out of position necessarily. They could have definitely done that better as a team.
Well, Atto just trying to hold top middle, just taking this battle with Boobadoo, but Boobadoo does have help. Try and say that 3 times quickly. He needs to back off now, Atto. He's going to have to drop back down to bottom middle. Will be communicating with his teammates to try and get some support of his own, but at the moment, it just seems like SOAR already on the back foot. Splyce really controlling the map here.
Yeah, Atto now pushing over to the enemy side of the base. It looks like Muniz has already thrown the flag out, and they are going to try and get a run going, but there's all members of Splyce are up, I believe, except for Shooter right now, so this is a little bit questionable of a run for me, Towie.
A little questionable for sure. They don't necessarily have the kills or positioning for this, as you see. Atso here, he's kind of gotten the flag all the way back without giving up his positioning. Great play here to try to stay alive. They don't have the kills to run this in, and he knows that. If Splyce, they should try to push this flag here, knowing the spawns are going to be forced across the map as the push does come in for the return.
Yeah, ground pound coming through from Shooter, and now he's going to return this one as well, as SOAR are forced back into their base as we move across to Shooter, as he's going to grab a railgun as well. Good timing coming through from Splyce. Can he do any real damage with it? We see Booba Dooba going down as he was trying to run a flag there as well. Nice camera work from Ghost just to show his body being elevated by the moving machinery on the map here.
You know, I like to do some camera work from time to time. But anyways, Falcated now flanking Atso top mid, gets a big assist right there with Booba Dooba. And now we're going to wait and see if he catches anyone off guard. We know how big top middle control is on this map, and it looks like he just found a trusty battle rifle up there. Nice little present.
Okay, just kind of helping his teammates as they are just pushing around, see if they can get onto this base. You can see now SOAR are just forced back into engine here.
Yeah, and that was a ballsy play by Falcated jumping in. They had 2 dead, and they were anticipating spawns to come up flag, and he jumped right in window, kind of giving up a free death there. Would have maybe been a better option to stay alive a bit, get eyes on the players, and then collapse as a team. Splyce here, still trying to get this flag out. They're getting kills, but Shooter dying top center, I believe. This is still going to be a tough run as Boo knows that and is playing it smart. Yeah,
Boo with the camouflage. And Splyce actually, I mean, this has taken a lot longer for them to get an opening cap. I thought it was going to be more of a one-sided game. SOAR doing really well to keep in this one. It has been a little bit scrappy, but Boo now just doing work in the enemy base, trying to stay alive, trying to just be a nuisance at the moment. Meanwhile, Falcator's jumping top middle to try and get kills of his own. He's going to chase as the new railgun will be up in 25 seconds as well. Flag goes down. Can he get the return, or is he going to be killed off? No, he won't. He'll take down Bullet with some good help from Boo Dooba, and that's going to be the first flag going in for Splyce.
All right, and now you see Shotzzy grabs the light rifle, pushes out. We know how important this weapon can be if you anchor it appropriately, but it looks like SOAR got some good spawns. Bullet now takes him down. He's in the treehouse of the Splyce roster, and he's going to do his best to clean up a weak Falcated. Gets the kill. 2 down now for Splyce as we see Bullet pushing in. Shooter gets caught off guard just a tiny bit. These are the types of plays that we need to see from SOAR Gaming in order to make something happen. But Towie, how did that guy just get behind him?
An unbelievable run there from Bullet, but it seems like the spawns were flipped. You know, his teammates possibly pushing into areas, forcing spawns across the map. He definitely wasn't anticipating a garage spawn or somebody to push around him, as Splyce is able to pretty easily get the kills, and then the return on that as they are forcing the spawns over to the garage side.
Messy fight going down at bottom middle at the moment. No one really taking the initiative, taking top middle. It looks like Splyce might be making their way up there at the moment as 2 kills come down. SOAR find themselves in a... Wow, now it's a 1 versus 4. Bullet will be the only player alive. Booba Dooba's found a camouflage to work with as well.
Boo is finding his way to that camo seemingly every time.
Every single time, and Shotzzy also seems to have the rail every single time. Muniz, though, grabs the flag. I believe Shotzzy just either whipped that shot or maybe a little bit of a blank, but either way, Falcated already going for the return. We know that flag is coming in. I believe that is... Who is that? Was it finally go in? It's Shooter. Shooter put it in. Flag number 2 as it goes in.
Yeah, and as you can see, as they were running that flag back as a team, just better teamwork overall coming in from Splyce. They're able to pick off those kills kind of one at a time versus SOAR, and know that they need to get their slays while running the flag back. Just better execution as a team overall.
Yeah, they all did move back towards the flag, so it has kind of freed up a little bit of a room for SOAR to control the top middle, but Shooter hitting the double with the pistol, just finding those weak players. Looks around the corner, can he find the triple? I don't think there was time, but he will still find the frag onto Bullet, and now he can push out with the rest of his team and try and get some control of top middle here. You can see SOAR members are pushing through Treehouse as well, but grenades and pistol is just too much at the moment. SOAR have just been taken down 1 by 1 here.
Great nade coming out from Bullet right there, as now Shotzzy ends up getting the cleanup in the treehouse. He's well aware, though, of the railgun respawning at the 6-minute mark. The camo will be up shortly, as now we see Shotzzy take down Drift in front of the base. These guys on Splyce are just playing some textbook Halo right now, it seems like. They're just going for some slays, staying alive, nothing crazy. But hey, I guess as I say that, Booba Dooba is doing something crazy. The flag's already top mid.
He is going to try and ground pound that one in. And yeah, there we go. He'll put it in. In the end, a comfortable 3-0 victory for Splyce. But SOAR, they were kind of running with the big boys at the start of that game.
Yeah, the takeaway for me on that game is that, you know, Splyce was able to kind of play loose, maybe a little reckless with some of the power weapons, kind of out of position, and still won extremely comfortably in, a 5 or 6 minute game.
Yeah, just looking through the statistics, anything that stands out for you there, Ghost?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Shotzi and Booba really just grabbing the railguns, grabbing the camouflages, and then resultantly, they have the most kills, 14 for each of them, and 6 and 5 deaths, respectively. But hey, can't count out Shooter and Falcated coming up with those 9 assists each. And then looking over to the SOAR roster, got to say it's unfortunate that Atso only managed to accrue 4 kills, but still 9 assists coming out of him. Some decent damage, and yeah, some decent accuracy as well. But at the end of the day, it is all Splyce right now, and SOAR needs to be concerned.
And what do you think SOAR can take away from games like this? Because I think that's something that we all need to touch on. I mean, SOAR likely going to finish top 12. I mean, I don't think they really expected to do amazing. Well, I mean, like the difference between
it was one game, Dan.
the LATAM region and NA and maybe Europe as well is quite significant. But what can they take away from this tournament to maybe come back next year and really try and excel as a team?
Really just the importance of doing something at the same time, whether you're slow playing a situation, whether you're going to be playing hyper aggressive when you have an advantage in numbers. We saw a lot of different times, at least in this one game, where as a team, they're kind of engaging separately. Like one person on their team will be engaged somewhere and another player will be trying to make a sneakier play, or they're just not necessarily doing the same types of plays at the same time with the same goal in mind. And that's kind of what sets a lot of teams apart. It's just better teamwork.
Yeah, for sure. I think that they just need to take what they can, to be honest, because obviously it's difficult to get practice in those regions. When you are the best in your region, I mean, similar to Fab as well, 100%. They struggle to get practice. So they really need to use these games to develop as
let's
teams.
call out some of their practice regimen. I was told that they didn't participate in any online qualifiers. They just showed up right at the event and went through it. So yeah, that's great practice. But I mean, if you're not going online and getting more practice, it's going to be a problem. It's definitely going to be a problem. And when you're talking about playing online, being in Latin America, you at least have a little bit of, I think, better odds at winning on some American servers, especially better than some of the EU guys do. So I think that there's a chance for them to improve. But Towie, to your point, they were not moving together as well as we thought. And I think where we really saw that kind of decay for their team was on the power weapons, on the power-ups. It seemed like it was only one guy going for these things, and we saw maybe two, almost 3 times, or 3 guys every time for Splyce were cornering those angles.
Yeah, very, very well coordinated on the power-ups and power weapons for Splyce. That is going to be a huge difference maker on Coliseum here as we see both Rockets and Sniper on the map.
Yep, Coliseum Slayer going to be game number 2, and we're going to kick things off with Munoz, it seems, who's pushing towards the sniper rifle. Can he get his hands on it, or is he going to be pushed off the sniper? Instead, he's actually going to dive down and grab the battle rifle and try and put some shots down and take down Falcated here. Eventually, will get the kill, and now he's going to boost up and try and find Shooter as well. Good decision to back off and try and stay alive. Needs to not give away an easy death here, because obviously battle rifle can be very important in the right hands.
I do really like that play out of him to lift up while he was weak, yes, but he knew that his teammate was above him already on Pyramid, and he can't afford to back up and run away and lose snipe control or Pyramid control, so he's able to stay couch, has help from his teammate there on the Pyramid, and by resulting in that, they keep snipe control and eventually get rockets from Shotzi here.
And the double kill. We could see a triple coming out. Jesse Boo with the sniper. Triple kill does come out for Drift. This is a big moment for them. 4-2 lead right now. It's early, but now the sniper falls in the hands of SOAR Gaming, and we're going to see if they can make some slight work with it.
I mean, not only was it a triple kill, but it's a triple kill against Splyce, who had rockets and a sniper rifle. But yes, Drift now has a lot on his shoulders to try and do some damage. They do have an early lead against Splyce at the moment. Where can he reposition himself to really do some work there?
And right now, out of Drift, I am seeing a lot of uncertainty in where to snipe from. You see no players on his screen, and he's kind of unsure where to be looking. His teammates possibly engaging too far, or he's not getting the right types of communication or positioning from his teammates to give him good angles, Against the best players in the world, it's going to be really hard to get snipes off against players that are shooting at you. The best snipers are the ones with the best positioning to get those shots on players that don't expect them to be there. And Splyce expected him to be sniping from there and played accordingly. Yeah,
you saw that he just was getting shot from every single angle and eventually fell. Booba doing some damage down bottom middle as well, taking down Atso. Is going to look for some more here in Rocket Corner. He's just going to sneak around and try and be unseen. He's not going to be on the radar. Does have the Brute Plasma Rifle to work with as well, so he's just going to burst out. But it looks like Drift is going to try and escape here, but he's not going to be able to escape the mitts of Booba. New rockets coming up as well, and Bullet's going to be eyeing these up. But that looks like someone's gone for a nice plasma grenade play there.
I believe it was Shotzi, but now it is Booba who managed to get control of the rockets. And look at this flank, perfect Rocket Mary almost, if you will, over here on the Cave player. And now a snipe comes out from our boy Drift. This guy's hitting shots today. And
a little overzealous possibly there. Sniper down to red. We're going to have to keep an eye on that.
Just hitting some shots.
Yeah, we'll move across to Shooter as well. They do have a 3-kill lead now, Splyce. So despite a slow start, they're actually looking a little bit better, hot on the collar now. And Shooter is just going to try and control this. Drift has some rockets to work with, but he's going to get shut down immediately as soon as he tries to do some damage. Now Carbine work coming out from Munoz, as you can just see Splyce are putting themselves into cave. They're trying to get good angles, but these rockets still on the floor. Eventually Munoz picks them up. Can he do any damage? No, he can't. Somehow Shotzzy survives and takes him down.
And he looked like he shot his teammate right there. Munoz aimed across Blue Bridge, and it looked like I don't know if he actually got a tick on him, but he definitely put some damage over there. And now Boo Boo Doo Boo hopping on board with him in obviously spectator mode. And we have a wild sniper for this guy. We know how deadly he can be with it. He seems to always connect with headshots, and today's no different.
Yeah, sniper rifle and rockets in the hands of Splyce. Perhaps this is where they're going to make a real gap between themselves and SOAR now.
Yep, and this game so far, a great positioning here by Boo Boo trying to get all the way up there, but very chaotic from appearance here for SOAR. They're dying one at a time there, which is allowing Splyce to go on a bit of a run to increase this to 22-12. Boo Boo, they obviously with snipe control here, trying to get a couple of picks.
Yeah, trying to do what he can, but Shotzzy has actually found himself a sniper rifle as well. So 2 snipers to work with as Shotzzy picks up the double thanks to a grenade.
I don't know who to watch.
Really difficult for SOAR now to get back into this, because when you're going against 2 snipers, you know you can't push out at any angle. So Splyce just locking down this map here.
All the pressure is on you right now, Ghost. Choose wisely.
This is hard, man. I mean, we're talking about 2 bullets left for Boo Boo Doo Boo. We know how deadly he can be. At the same time, Shotzzy just picked up the fresh one. Rockets are up. He misses a plasma. It looks like he's about to miss another one. Is it?
Oh, I thought he was going to connect on that. Shotzzy here, though, as well.
Makes it easy for me. Shotzzy with the only guy with sniper.
Sometimes you can have a problem when a team has 2 snipers. Obviously, it's ideal to have all the power weapons, but that also means another person on your team not shooting at the enemy while they're trying to move up, get into better positions on the map. Sometimes that can and has caused problems in previous Halo games and in a lot of games in Halo 5.
Yeah, it almost seems like it allowed SOAR back into this one, as Munoz is going to try and hit some pistol shots as well, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it was Falcated escape there. Atto now does have a sniper rifle to work with, but there's just grenades coming everywhere. He's trying to survive with his life, but eventually goes down. A 13-kill game now. Splyce will be more than happy to keep this scrappy and fast-paced. I think SOAR need to try and slow this one down, try and get a little bit of control if they're going to get back into it.
And he has the T2 combo, the rockets and the sniper rifle. We know how good Boo Boo Doo Boo is at being sneaky, and he's hanging out on the sneaky over here on sniper side of the map. 2 down now for SOAR as Boo Boo Doo Boo is trying to collapse on these last 2 players, but also very well aware that there are going to be some split spawns coming into place.
Ends up getting taken out by that split spawner there. Unfortunate for Boo Boo, but SOAR really need to slow down the deaths to try to get back into this one. It seems like every time they are engaging, they are dying extremely quickly. It's almost like a must-win engagement when they are putting themselves into those positions. They need to try to utilize a little bit better teamwork to not give up such fast deaths.
Yeah, similar to what you said last game, it seems like SOAR are on their own quite often. Really need to group up and try and do something different. Again, Atto caught out on his own. Is Falcate going to be able to survive? No, he won't. Munoz does take him down, but there will be the trade coming through. Or there should be. Boo Boo Doo Boo. What just happened there? The double kill was massive. I'm not sure it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but still, he should have been able to finish off that kill.
Just a big moral win right there.
Big moral victory.
And I think this LAM team, they can take what they can get, really, to be honest. They'll be more than happy to get a couple of moral wins. Yes, okay, they're 19 kills down, but being able to get kills like that on some of the best players in the world, that's a story to tell once you get home. As Shotzzy is just keeping an eye on these rockets, he looks like he's going to go for a grenade to try and knock them off as well. But just as he's looking up, he gets caught off guard and will be taken down by Drift.
The mathematician was trying to add up something there with his long-range stickies, apparently.
Yeah, that was pretty hard to watch. It seemed like he needed to practice a little bit more at home before he tried that stuff on land. But Shooter now pushing up to those rockets. We know how powerful they can be and in the right hands. And now Shooter just happens to find a nice, lucky little brute plasma rifle present right there on the corner.
It's very fortunate to find that weapon.
Far away from home. And he cleans up a big kill.
Yep, Splyce here, not necessarily playing as disciplined Halo as they're accustomed to, kind of careless. But as they're up 16 with only 8 kills to go, they kind of can afford to. Obviously, Coliseum, though, it's a map about making runs. As Munoz manages the double here. Unfortunately, that's a 2-for-2 trade as both players on SOAR go down. Falcated.
will find himself a sniper rifle to work with as well, but he is being pressed quite heavily. Can't hit any no-scopes either, so Drift will get that kill and the sniper rifle as a reward. Can we see anything crazy coming out of this SOAR Gaming side, or are they just going to crumble with just 5 kills left needed for Splyce to take game number 2 here? He is going to position himself here in the rocket corner and try and get any sort of angle, but no one on Splyce is currently playing ball. They're more than happy to sit back. They don't need to rush this. They know how comfortable this will be if they just take their time to get these 5 kills.
Oh yeah, and you see players on Splyce actually being bold enough to fire pistol shots on this sniper rifle. So clearly they are not intimidated by him in the side of the map. And now Shanti, it looks like he's going to go for that last no-scope. A little bit too cocky, my man.
He was getting into it, feeling it.
Well, there we'll have it. Game 2 is also going to go to Splyce over SOAR here on Colosseum Slayer. Relatively comfortable. Again, it was slightly scrappy towards the start, but once they had the rockets, once they had the sniper rifle, it all just kind of fell into place.
Yep, and looking at the stats, we saw Shotzi go pretty big, as well as Boobadooboo had some solid assists, and even Falcated had some good assists as well. But Shooter, known as one of the best players at staying alive right now, he always seems to be hidden in his own shooter way, and I guess that game he came to play. But then looking at the other side of the scoreboard, Atso yet again only logging 4 kills. You hate to see a player have back-to-back games like that, so hopefully he can do something to get out of the rut, because I mean, it's Saturday, man. You know, your tournament life is on the line. You got to make something out of nothing. Make you know, at least get the 10 kills. Do something. You know, a little bit of that personal win, going home with that it's a big deal, man.
You say do something, man. Was there anything different you think SOAR could have done in that Colosseum Slayer game?
I mean, I spoke on it a little bit in the game, but it's such fast deaths. It's hard to get into position to help your teammates when you hear a call out and you have to react instantly. And it seems like it's kind of spiraling like that. We see, at least off the start, it was kind of fairly close, but you know, the SOAR players are just rushing off spawn to get somewhere to try to help their teammate to do something immediately, because everyone's playing at this hyper pace where they have to get somewhere to help a teammate who's already engaged, and that just kind of spirals out of control.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, right? You just see the little mistakes, not staying alive, sprinting when they shouldn't, all those, just the tiny things. And I know sometimes we just sound like we're at such a low level of talk saying, oh yeah, you know, don't die and stay alive, but if you go back and watch some of those games, especially in the rebroadcast, you'll see the difference in play style from Splyce going over to SOAR. It just looks like there's a lack of self-discipline, right? There's a lack of some of that cohesion that you're talking about, where players on this SOAR Gaming they're pushing forward, and they think they have some coordination, and next thing you know, someone catches them off guard from the Splyce roster, and it's very much a reactionary call-out rather than, you know, some of that small talk. So that being said, I'd be curious to see what their communication is on the SOAR Gaming roster. Maybe we can get a little bit of an Astro listen in and see how they communicate when going up against a roster like Splyce, because we heard them over in Mexico City, and it was pretty loud. And I'm curious to see if it's the same type of communication that we'll see out here at the finals.
Yeah, and I guess it just goes back to that situation once again of not being used to playing against NA teams, because perhaps SOAR are going for plays that would work against teams in their region that they used to be able to play, running around individually, going for those flanks, but it's not going to work against some of the best players in the world. Plaza Strongholds is going to be game number 3. From what we've seen in games number 1 and 2, how do you guys see this one playing out?
This is going to be all Splyce. That is for sure. It's one of their better game types, I know. And Strongholds in particular, they're fairly confident, but it'll be interesting to see how the opening starts go here. Boo Boo getting taken to one shot as he's trying to push for that camo. 2 down for Splyce. This is very, very important for SOAR. They have a 4-on-2 advantage and need to play it smart.
And somehow Falcated still manages to grab camo. I mean, when you kill a wild Boobadooboo going for camo top mid, you got to be able to watch it again, secure it, and instead Splyce was more focused on camo than SOAR was.
Yeah, 4-on-2 advantage off the start, and SOAR goes for the yard capture. Instead of pushing for map control in the middle of the map, they could have pushed out, gotten to the middle of the map for snipe and bottom center, which is preferable on this map. Instead, they capped yard, leaving a teammate there, so it was only a 3-on-2. No point advantage after winning the opening start.
Yeah, and they could even jumped up top. Yeah, they went for shotgun. They could have jumped to top yellow and actually helped out Atso, who was in flowers, right? And that small play right there where they don't force the issue, they don't force the hand on Splyce to try and get that 4-on-2 advantage. Yeah, now we're in a rut.
Like any other type of competition, Halo is no different. You want to take advantage of the windows of opportunity that the opponent is giving you. And when they make mistakes like that, or they have an advantage in numbers, you know, SOAR has a window of opportunity to push out to spots on the map, to push out and gain control, to influence spawns, and you need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, you guys said that you wanted to hear for a listening from SOAR Gaming, so let's have a little quick dive into the world of these guys from the Latin region.
Empiezan a agarrar bottom, roten ustedes para
Vayan
Nest.
al nido, hice tiempo. Vayan al nido, hice tiempo.
Vayan a Nest, vayan a Nest.
Hay
roten a
escopeta
Nest.
en luz.
Hay uno en luz, tiene shotgun en luz, tiro. Bueno,
Tres muertos, tres muertos, tres muertos.
métete abajo si puede. Está escondido uno, vete en nido, no, vete en nido.
Váyanse a nido, no, a todos que andan ahí abajo. Ven, ven, Tram.
Me están pushando en metro otra vez. Están en los posters, están posters.
Nido débil, nido débil.
Tranquilos, hazte para atrás, no te mueres.
Tengo otro.
Tenemos que pushar juntos aquí, pushan juntos aquí.
Aguanten la escopeta, hay escopeta.
Ahí está.
Camo al 46. Camo al
El
46.
bubu está en glass, güey, está en luz, un tiro. Ahí está.
Me pegan de nido, me pegan de nido. Camo al 46, camo al 46.
Están pushando el drift, güey. Nada, seguro que
Mataron.
no te pega.
Camo, me pegan de también. Vas a agarrar el camo, ya tienen camo.
Ocho luz, güey. Está tiro blue, güey.
¿Dónde puedo?
Azul.
And it seems like quite calm communication actually coming out from SOAR Gaming there, but they're still 20 points behind, still absolute control coming out from Splyce here, and it all is from that opening play as well, with SOAR making the decision to go back towards Yard rather than go towards Nest or bottom mid.
Oh yeah, and now we see Atso and team pushing up, trying to double cap the Nest. Now, for those of you guys who are just joining us in Strongholds, it's a game mode that works, obviously, with points and time and all that kind of fun stuff. So when you have two Strongholds held in your favor, obviously, currently, we have two in favor of Splyce, they are going to get a single point for every 3 seconds. Well, if they have all three, which is total control, or triple capping, if you will, then you're going to get 2 points every 3 seconds. So those types of plays are what you need to do to have the comebacks when you're down by a lot. And SOAR, they finally start putting some decent points on the board, but just as I say that, they get killed.
And a bit of a misplay there by Splyce, I have to admit. It seems like they pushed the triple cap by going for the Yard Stronghold, forced the Spawns Cafe, and SOAR, they reacted appropriately. They sent a 4-man push out through to Nest. Coming back to the triple cap now as Shooter, we see him trying to defend this Yard push, expecting players to push around him as he's baiting this open area with his teammate.
Yeah, look at two of them there. There comes the absolute ambush. Drift, unfortunately, walking into a wild booby-dooby, as you say. Munoz does manage to find a kill on Falcated with the shotgun in his back pocket. They're trying to push out, and getting 2 kills is really important. But the
Not
decision,
if you can't do anything with
well,
it.
that's the thing. They need to make the decision. Do they go for bottom mid? Do they try and take Nest? But he just walks straight into the fist of Shotzi, and Splyce are just cleaning up these SOAR Gaming members.
Yeah, you're 100% right there, Dan. After getting those 2 kills, both members left on Splyce were completely alone. We had one guy S4, one guy out in the tram area. All they had to do was get the bottom middle cap. Now, if they were to double cap, it goes in 6 seconds, so they definitely would have gotten the cap outside of those 8-second spawns, right? So just simple math, boys. Just simple math. You could have got the double cap bottom mid, and hopefully you guys watch this rebroadcast and learn from it a little bit.
That's fast math.
Yeah, really fast math. And now SOAR are just kind of trapped back here in Catha. They are going to try and jump out, but Falcated will go down, but Booby Dooby's there to get the trade, and still they're racking up points. He's got a camouflage as well. And Splyce, it looks like they're just playing with their food at the moment. They're more than happy to just push in, get aggressive. They had a shotgun. We saw Falcated just push in unnecessarily just because they want to rack up those points.
A vulture.
Just circling above.
Just, yeah, a flying boo-boo-doo-boo who doesn't know how to read radar.
Flying invisible Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo. That is a very scary feat. He is going to pile a couple of grenades in, eventually goes down, but look, Splyce are just heading towards this 100-point mark. SOAR, they're trying to do what they can to escape out of Yard, but unfortunately, any angle that they push, there is always a Splyce member there waiting to take them down.
And now we have Shotzi, who's actually moving out. I saw him actually push a fight yesterday with his plasma pistol, trying to just do the single shots. It actually works up close if you do get, I believe it's 2 shots in a melee actually kills, but obviously when you're talking about Halo 5, there's not too many close range battles that you get into, so it's always better to charge in my opinion.
Interestingly, Drift making the decision not to go for the capture there. I mean, the game's pretty much over, bro. You need to go for that. It doesn't matter. You can't just try and survive as Splyce take
Trying to
game
save face,
3.
man.
He trying to go for those statistics. He doesn't want too many deaths.
Not my kind of guy.
Nah, needs to just try and do something. I think that's
The old neighbor strat.
the key story, to be honest.
Shout out to
SOAR.
Cup.
What's happened to Neighbor? Where is he now? Why isn't he here?
He's locked away in a cage.
He's getting a lot of statty kills in Pit Flag and Narrow's Flag games, huh?
Yeah, somewhere.
Still
Basement
playing
somewhere.
Somewhere he's going 3-1 KD ratio.
He's winning Guardian 1v1s wherever he is.
But losing the 4v4s.
Anything in the
Shot fired.
statistics that stands out for you there, Ghost? I mean, of course, we see the Strongholds captured. Is it just, I mean, what can you take from that game apart from the fact that Splyce were just 10 times better?
I think that again, the focus here is just the power-up pickups. When we look at Fathom CTF, we saw all of the camos falling into the hands of mainly Boo Boo Doo Boo, and then this game type, no different. We saw them here again falling into the hands of Boo Boo Doo Boo. So I think personally, we either need to talk to SOAR Gaming's coach or maybe the players. Not saying it's the coach's fault, Towie. Don't give me that look. I'm just saying the fact that oh wait, no, we did hear the one time when we had to listen in that the coach was on top of the camo spawn on Plaza.
Sometimes the players maybe just don't go to the best positions for them.
Yes, that's very true. That sounded like shots fired.
I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I think he's calling out some players personally, but okay, so SOAR struggling here going into game number 4. Do you think? I mean, I want to say, like, do you think there's going to be a comeback? But I think that I'm just asking.
The
a
reverse
question
sweep
here.
is in order.
That would be a miracle if I've ever seen one. But that is not to say that it's impossible.
It's
Chestnut Street.
I mean, it's probably like a 0.005 chance of happening, I reckon. I
don't know where you make up these statistics from.
You're not even saying, is that too much? That's too much.
I think that this is it's seemingly over at this point.
Yeah.
We know how good Splyce is. They've been proving themselves not only in the last couple events in the seasons, but this weekend alone, taking down Envious in the group stage, and we saw them take it all the way to Game 7 with Luminosity and narrowly lose that nail biter. But at the same time, going up against some of these foreign teams, if you will. It's going to be all Splyce. They look very good, and when they're playing on top of their game, they're easily a top 4 team.
On a more serious note, though, SOAR, they do have a lot of good takeaways from how they have played in this series. There are things to, build off of. It's not necessarily nothing.
It's not all dooming.
But
I agree with that.
they most definitely lack coordination in comparison to the NA teams.
I think they're missing tapping buttons, man.
Tapping buttons is the truth.
Yeah, definitely. He was a big part in how successful the team was previously, so being without him has made a difference. But again, it's just really hard when you're going up against some of the best players in the world. We are going to start game number 4 here. It's going to be Truth capture the flag as bullets towards the camouflage. He will burn it and actually just get destroyed there by a Splinter Grenade.
That Splinter Grenade there was blocking the camo. I'm not sure if a burn was 100% necessary. Obviously, you don't want to, give up camo for the other team, but to just give up your life for it so fast was a little too aggressive, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Now we see Shotzzy trying to make the jump in front of the base. Probably one of the easiest jumps in the game. We know him for his movement, and he can't seem to hit it just yet. So not what you want to see when you're a Splyce fan.
No, but I love watching Shotzzy play when he has Sword on this map. Unfortunately, he gets taken down in the car attic. That's a big kill there, but you'll notice whenever he does have Sword, he runs around, he kind of pulls it out just to get a little bit more momentum or speed in different situations. He moves around with it differently than a lot of other players.
And already that is a 1-0 advantage for Splyce. I wonder how quick this one is going to be. Are SOAR going to be able to do anything? They're already having to turtle back into the base. You can see a few members just waiting there, crouching around, hoping to catch a Splyce member off guard as they push into the base. And actually, that will happen. Drift takes down Falcated. The trade will come through, though, thanks to Shotzzy. And there is still a man advantage for Splyce as they push on into this base. Atzo's managed to find himself a sword to work with, as you can see in the right-hand side of your screen, but he's now been taken down. So Splyce, they are just running a train at the moment through SOAR Gaming, and it's just going to be a case of when they pick up this flag.
Wow, very fortunate spawn coming out. I believe that was from Muniz, who happened to spawn under the base, and now his teammate helping out as well above. So these guys, they either it was a fortunate spawn or Splyce just pushed in a little bit too far with that pressure. I'm not sure what I missed there, but that was just unfortunate for Splyce.
Oh, and Shotzzy, unfortunately, missing the flagpole there. We'll see if it costs him. He ends up getting the flag out, still one shot, opts for the throw, which is smart. Going to stay in the base, and they know they don't necessarily have the slays for this, but with the focus heavy on the front of the base, they should be able to get this flag back fairly easily.
Yeah, just one member of SOAR is in position to even get any sort of shots, and he is top middle, but it's not going to work out. Falcated puts in a second flag now for Splyce, and the kills are also raining down, and as you can see on the left hand on the kill feed. We do also see the thrust coming out, and so actually has a sword to work with, but he does get traded out. Splyce now coming in for more. Can Shooter find a triple? He actually looks away. He's not worried about the triple. He just wants the flag. He wants to try and put this game to bed.
And Atso takes him down from that bubble spawn. That was a pretty big kill right there on defense. Nice little glimpse of hope, but Drift and team are just getting cleaned up time and time again. They are on a staggered spawn, to say the least. I think it's time that they actually wait for their teammates, because this is just getting a little bit out of control, Towie.
Yeah, double as well for Shotzzy. He's going to be able to pick up the flag. No. He's found a sword, so this is all she wrote for SOAR Gaming. Shotzzy easily going to be able to put this one in, and the series is going to go to Splyce. Very comfortable in the end, and that will be SOAR heading home. They are out of the tournament.
Man, that is a fast sword flag run there.
And I know that when we're in Europe, we talk about, you know, when the French get breadsticks, and we call them baguettes. We have a member on the Latin American roster, SOAR Gaming, that happened to get a breadstick. Is there anything?
The Latin American equivalent?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not the expert to ask that question.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, regardless, we do see a breadstick on screen, folks. A 1-6 from Drift. I'm sorry to call you out like that, my man, but Shooter was putting in some work with Falcated 9-3, and I got to give props to Shotzzy. The guy has so much pressure under the base. He's constantly flying under there, whether it was a storm rifle, a sword, even an assault rifle. He was always causing problems, always being a nuisance, and for that, I applaud him, because when you keep that pressure on, that's when the flag caps start coming.
Well, that was a very quick series. Remember, guys, it is over. That is just like that, snap of the fingers. If you want to get involved on social media, follow at ESL Gaming. You can also follow us on Instagram, Snapchat. Let us know which teams you are rooting for here at the Halo World Championship. But we are going to go for a short break, but when we're back, we'll be having a quick interview with one of the players from Splyce Gaming. Welcome back, everybody, to the Xfinity desk, where we have one of the youngest players here. If not the youngest player here from Splyce, it is Shotzzy, of course, after a victory against SOAR Gaming 4-2-0. A very dominant performance. Was that ever in doubt for you guys? Did you think it was always going to be an easy win?
Yes, I actually did.
That's a nice, easy question.
A lot of confidence.
And he's just like, yeah, easy peasy. Okay, and I mean, you are obviously only 15 years old. You coming out here. How much do your parents support you coming out here? Because I remember when I started gaming, I was like 13, and my parents were driving me across the country. Are they watching today?
Yes, they actually are.
Yeah? Yeah,
they actually do support me, because they text me saying like when I play and all that. They actually want to tune in.
Nice. And how do you feel like your chances are going into the rest of this tournament? I believe you face the winner of Immunity versus Fab. Is that another easy game, do you think, for you guys?
Considering they're the best Australian and European team, it's going to be a tough match, but I really do think we're going to win it.
Do you feel any sort of added pressure on you at this type of a tournament, though, just because of how young you are? I mean, obviously you're playing against a lot of players that have been around a long time or have been to, last year's Worlds, and you're the youngest player here.
Well, I have more how do you say it? I feel more confident because I'm playing with people that have actually experienced this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. I mean, you have had a lot of experience playing with the guys on your roster. That has to give you a little bit more confidence since you're such good friends with everyone on your team.
Exactly.
And final question then, who's going to win this event? Is it you guys, or do you think it's going to be...
I'm on the spot.
I'm putting you on the spot. Is it going to be an OG win, or do you think you guys can make it towards those finals?
I'm going to say us because I really want to win.
That's what I like.
I'm going to say us.
Great confidence coming out from Shotzzy. We are going to go back to another break, guys. But when we are back, it is going to be Crowd Pleasers versus London Conspiracy. Hopefully, it's going to be a juicy one.